But only 27 students are joined. I was waiting for the students to join. Why so less students today? Okay, anybody's recording? Ishan is there? Okay. Okay, so let us start, students. Today I am going to tell you about solution of wave equation. Last time we have done the derivation of wave equation, right? Now, can anybody tell me what is wave equation? What is wave equation we have derived last time? Nigel, can you tell? Nigel, can you tell me what is wave equation?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Do you by different partial derivatives of velocity with respect to time is equal to c square
See, Nigel, basically this is second order partial differential equation, right? It is dou square u or dou square y, whichever letter you are using. Dou square y by dou t square is equal to c square into dou square y by dou x square. Okay. Now, in place of y, suppose you are using letter u, then it will be dou square u by dou t square is equal to c square into dou square u by dou x square. So basically this is your second order partial differential equation, and this equation is called as one dimensional wave equation. Okay, so this equation we have derived last time by looking at the transverse vibrations of the stretched elastic string, right? And now today I will tell you how to go about the solution. So as I mentioned you last time in the class, students, if it is asked to derive one-dimensional wave equation, then whatever we have done in the last class, that is called as derivation. If it is asked to find out the solution of wave equation, then what is y? Solution means what, students? Suppose the differential equation is in terms of y, then solution of the differential equation means you are going to find out all possible values for y. Those are called as the solution of the partial differential equation or the ordinary differential equation. Now in this case it is the partial differential equation. So let us do it by method of separation of variables. So you can give the title method of separation of variables. Okay. So your wave equation is like this. Just a minute. Huh? Is it okay now, students? Now we are going to solve this equation. See the method, students. Method is easy. Whatever you have learned in ordinary differential equations, the method of separation of variables. What you used to do, if you remember, on one side you used to bring all terms in one variable, other side all terms in other variable. Once you get that, then you used to integrate both sides and get the answer, right? That is called as method of separation of variables in ordinary differential equations. Now let us see what happens here. Let y be x into t. Okay. What it means, students? This capital X of x means what? It is function of x only. And capital T of small t, it means that it is function of small t only. Okay. So this we can denote it by capital X and capital T for our convenience. So whenever I am using letter capital X, you have to understand that it is the function of small x only. There is no mixed variables. And when I say capital T, it is function of small t only. Okay. Now what I want to do is, I will write it as y is equal to x into t. Because as I said, we are taking x of small x as capital X and y of small y as y or t of small t as capital T. Now I want to differentiate the students. First, I will differentiate this with respect to x, for example. First of all, I will differentiate this with respect to x. So what will happen? What will be role of t? Because you know that whenever you are finding partial differentiation with respect to something, that something is the variable and other all letters behaves as a constants, right? So with respect to x, when I am differentiating, t will behave as a constant and you are taking derivative of x. So I am putting x dash for this. Similarly, if I go for the second order derivative of this, what will happen? Again, t will remain same because t is a constant with respect to x, and then derivative of x will come into the picture. So it will look like this. Okay. Now what will be this x double dash? X double dash will be nothing but the derivative of x with respect to small x, second order derivative. Now if you go to this side, if you need to find out derivative of y again with respect to t now, what will happen here is, now what is constant, tell me? When you are differentiating with respect to small t, x will behave as a constant. Yes or no? So x I am not touching and derivative of first order derivative of t I am denoting by t dash. Okay. Then I will be finding the second order derivative and it will be x dot t double dash. Done? So can you tell me what this t double dash stands for? It will be d square, what it is? D square t by d t square, means second order derivative of capital T with respect to small t. Okay. Now, suppose this is our equation number 1. Which equation? Your wave equation, one dimensional wave equation. Now we got dou square y by dou t square and dou square y by dou x square also. So these two substitutions we are going to do in the equation number 1. So you can say now equation 1 becomes, what is dou square y by dou t square you got, students, left hand side? It is x into t double dash is equal to c square into what is dou square y by dou x square you got? It is x double dash into t. Any doubt till this step, students? How I got this? I just replaced dou square y by dou t square and dou square y by dou x square by this x double dash dot t and x dot t double dash. Okay. Now see what I'm going to do. Easily I can separate the variables. How? I will keep only terms in x on one side and only terms in t on other side. So see how it will look. It will be x double dash divided by x is equal to t double dash divided by t. Okay. And this c square you can take to any side. Okay. C square or a square, whatever letter you are using. So this c square or a square, this if you are taking t to other side, definitely this c square will go down here, right? See whether all of you understood. This x is cross multiplied. and this c square t is cross multiplied to other side. Why this is done? Because the left hand side of this equation, suppose this is equation number 2, left hand side of equation 2 is function of x only, correct? Whereas the right hand side is function of t only. Why small t, students? Because capital T is nothing but function of small t. Capital X is nothing but function of small x. That's why the left hand side is fully in terms of x and right hand side is fully in terms of t. Constant will not make any difference. Okay. So what we do here, this is called as variable separable form. What is meaning of variable separable? On one side all terms in x, other side all terms in t. But what happens here, students, is x and t are independent variables here. I'll write here. Here x and t are independent variables. Correct or no? Then this equation is true only when it is equal to some constant. So equation 2 is true only when or only if each is equal to a constant. Means what? What is meaning of this? X double dash by x is equal to 1 by c square t double dash by t has to be some constant k, where k is any constant. X and t are independent and you have shown that these two things are equal, right? So definitely both will be equal to some constant k. Okay. So now see what you get, students. If I cross multiply, I am getting the equations. What equation? This x double dash by x is equal to k and 1 by c square t double dash by t is equal to also k. Because you know that if a is equal to b is equal to c, then a is c and b is also c. When three things are equal, everybody is equal to each other, right? So it will be x double dash is equal to x into k. What this implies? X double dash minus x into k is equal to 0. Similarly, here what happens? Here it will be t double dash is equal to c square k into t, right? Now c square k, if you want, you can write it as one single constant, or let it be t double dash minus c square kt is equal to 0. So in short, you are getting these two equations, students. See, these derivations and the solution part is little bit lengthy based on your previous knowledge of partial differentiation and the types of solving the differential equations. That's why these things carry 10 marks each. Okay. Sometimes the question comes, find the solution of one-dimensional wave equation. It is minimum 8 marks and maximum 10 marks. Okay. So if you go through the previous year questions, I'm talking based on previous year's question papers. Okay. Any doubt till here, students? Yeah. Like this? Is it okay? Yes. Okay, done, students? Can I turn the page? Please say something in chat box. Is it done? Can I continue on the next page? Or you are copying still?
Yes.
Okay. So let us continue, students. This is not the end of solution. When it will be end of solution? When you find out what is y, right? So now what we got here is, I'll write down the equations again here on the next page. The first equation which we got is x double dash minus k into x is equal to 0. Correct? This is our first equation. And what is the second equation? Second equation is t double dash minus c square kt is equal to 0. So these are the two equations which we already got. Now you need to solve these two equations. Okay. How to solve these two equations? So what we are going to do is, suppose this is set of equations and the number for this I am giving as 3. So solution of these two equations will depend upon definitely nature of value of k, because we don't know what is k, right? We have said that k is any constant. So I put one sentence here. Solutions of these equations depend upon the nature of the value of k, right? So mainly we are going to consider 3 different cases for k, students. First we'll say that k is positive, then we'll say that k is negative, and then one more possibility is when k is 0. So in all 3 different cases we are going to get different solutions, and then we have to choose the proper solution amongst these 3, right? So let us start with case 1. Say that let k be positive. Now when k is positive, I can say that k is equal to some lambda square. Some square I am taking, because you know that when you square anything, you get positive number, right? So on safer side, we are choosing k as lambda square. Square of negative number is also positive, right? So when you say k is equal to lambda square, without mentioning also, anybody will understand that it is k is positive. Okay? Now, so what will happen with equation 3? So we can say that now equation 3 becomes, so wherever there is k, students, in equation 3, we are putting lambda square for that. So it will be x double dash minus lambda square x is equal to 0, and t double dash minus c square lambda square t is equal to 0. So what I did, I have replaced k by lambda square. Okay. Now, do you remember how you used to solve these two equations, students, in your first semester, second semester? Solution of differential equations, homogeneous differential equations, by using operator D. Okay, let me write for your understanding. I'm using letter d square for this. D square of x minus lambda square of x is equal to 0. See if you remember this. Then d square minus lambda, this is d square x into this. So what we do is here, we take the common terms and then we write the auxiliary equation with complementary function and particular integral. Right? Do you remember all these things, students? So how it will be? d square x minus lambda square x is equal to 0. So what is common here? In these two terms, what is common? X is common, right? So I'm writing yes. And how you will express this? There is only second order derivative, so you can express this as d square t minus c square lambda square t is equal to 0. Correct? So here I am writing it as d square minus lambda square x is 0. What is auxiliary equation, students? It is d square minus lambda square is equal to 0, isn't it? Auxiliary equation means coefficient of x. So your d square will be equal to lambda square, right? So what is d here? Plus or minus lambda? Okay? You remember this, students? Will you find for this now? Similarly, see what is the auxiliary equation and what are the roots of this? Same thing here you have to do. T is common. So d square minus c square lambda square capital T is equal to 0. Right? So auxiliary equation is d square minus c square lambda square is equal to 0. D square is equal to c square lambda square. D is square root on both sides, positive as well as negative, plus or minus c lambda. Now what are these two things, students? These are real numbers, right? Both are real. So do you remember the formula for real? What is the solution? Y is equal to C1 e raised to M1x plus C2 e raised to M2x. Do you remember, students, all these things? Please tell me. Because this unit was there for you last semester. Yes, say something, students, or you have forgotten this. Auxiliary equation, getting the roots. There were 4 cases. If the roots are real and different, what is the solution? If the roots are real and repeated, what is the solution? If the roots are complex, what is the solution? And if the roots are complex and repeated, what is the solution? Okay, you can put something in chat box, students. Have you done this or no? Can you hear me, students? Jemima, have you done this in second semester? Yes. Who is this? Okay. What about Jeffin? Jeffin, have you done this? I'll revise, but have you done this or no? That I want to know. Jeffin, how to find complementary function, particular integral? To find particular integral, you have to see whether the right hand side is exponential function, trigonometric functions, algebraic function. What about Mandar? Say something in chat box, yes or no?
Yes, ma'am, we have learned that.
You have learned that, right? Okay. So that's what I wanted to know. So what I do, students, I don't expect you to remember all these things. So I will just revise that small part. It will be useful for new students also. So before proceeding, this comes in homogeneous differential equations, right? So it depends upon the roots of differential equation. When you find out the general solution, students, there are two parts. One is called as, see, for the new students, I am repeating this, and for the other students also, if you have forgotten this part, it is complementary function. You used to denote it by C dot F plus particular integral, which is denoted by Pi. So sum of these two is called as the general solution. General solution means left hand side is y, right? Now particular integral is fully based on right hand side. So there are different cases. If you remember, if right hand side is of the type e raised to x, if it is of the type sin ax or cos ax, right? Then if it is algebraic, then if it is v into some function, right? So in this way, there were different cases to find out the particular integral. But suppose the right hand side contains 0. There is no term in x. So if right hand side of equation, differential equation is 0, then the solution is only first part of the general solution, that is complementary function. So this part will not come into the picture when the right hand side is 0 of the given differential equation, right? Now what is complementary function? How you go about complementary function? Again, it depends upon the roots. So I'll give you the table to find complementary function. These are the roots and these are the complementary function part. See how it comes. If the roots are real and different means non-repeated. Suppose your roots are denoted by m1, m2, m3 and so on. We don't know because it depends upon the auxiliary equation. If the equation is quadratic, you have 2 roots. If the equation is cubic, you have 3 roots. If your equation is of order 4, then you have 4 roots, right? So what is formula for complementary function? C1 e raised to m1x, C2 e raised to m2x, C3 e raised to m3x and so on. Where m1, m2, m3, you have to substitute these roots. This is what I said here, students. When I was explaining, I was talking about this. When the roots are real, it is C1 e raised to m1x plus C2 e raised to m2x. Okay? Now, the second case is the roots are real but repeated. Repeated means what? Suppose this root is repeated twice. M1 is repeated twice. Then what is the complementary function? It is C1 plus C2x e raised to m1x. It may happen that the root is repeated thrice. Then how will be the complementary function? C1 plus C2x plus C3x square e raised to m2x. E raised to m1x because same root. There will be combination also of real root, complex root, repeated roots, non-repeated roots, right? If the root is repeated 4 times, what will be the change? It will be C1 plus C2x plus C3x square plus C4x raised to 3 bracket complete e raised to m1x. So it depends upon the roots. Now the next case is if the roots are complex and non-repeated. As you know that the complex roots always appear in pair, like alpha plus I beta and alpha minus I beta. Because when you find out the root of any complex number, it is always with plus or minus sign. Okay. So when the roots are complex, what is the formula for complementary function? It is e raised to alpha x, c1 cos of beta x plus c2 sin of beta x. So this minus sign is taken care by this formula. So usually how we write the complex roots? Alpha plus or minus I beta. So suppose your roots are 2 plus or minus 3i. For example, what is alpha here? Alpha is 2 and what is beta here? Beta is 3. Don't take minus 3. Okay, because it is understood that there is minus 3 also for the other root. So you need not show it separately. So what will be the complementary function for this? E raised to alpha x c1 cos of beta x plus c2 sin of beta x. Are you understanding? Suppose there is no real part. Means suppose your roots are only plus or minus 3i. So in place of alpha you put 0 and anything raised to 0 is 1. So only this bracket will exist. Suppose my root is, suppose the root is 5i plus or minus 5i. So what is alpha in this case, students? 0. And what is beta? Beta will be 5. Correct? So what will be y here? E raised to 0x c1 cos of 5x plus c2 sin of 5x. E raised to 0x means e raised to 0 which is 1. So only this bracket will exist. And the last case was complex roots and repeated. So it may happen that alpha plus or minus I beta root is repeated twice. Correct? Because if your order of the equation is 4 and you are getting the repeated roots, then the solution will be e raised to alpha x c1 plus c2x cos of beta x plus c3 plus c4x sin of beta x. Okay? So it may happen that this pair will repeat, like 4 plus 5i plus or minus 5i and 4 plus or minus 5i. So same root is repeated twice. So what happens? Alpha will be 4 and beta will be 5. So that will go in this formula. So all these things you have already done, but this I just explained for the new students also and as revision for you people. Because same concept we are going to use in the remaining part of the solution of wave equation. Okay? So let us go back to our derivation here. So now look at the roots. D is equal to plus or minus lambda. Correct? So if you are denoting these roots by M1 and M2, what is my M1? M1 is lambda. And what is M2? M2 is minus lambda. So what will be the solution in this case, students? C1 e raised to M1x plus C2 e raised to M2x, where M1 and M2 is replaced by lambda and minus lambda. Now see students, in place of C1, C2, we can use the letters in terms of A and B. Okay, just for our convenience. Otherwise, there will be confusion. So I'm using letter A1 for this and letter B1 for this. Means this is solution in the first equation. I write here again y is equal to A1 e raised to lambda x plus B1 e raised to minus lambda x. Because after all, what is C1 and C2? These are some unknown constants, right? So I am taking it as A1 and B1. Now can you tell me what is M1 and M2 here? What is M1 here? M1 is C lambda and what is M2 here? Minus C lambda, right? So what will be the solution here? It is A1 B1. Now we'll take C1 D1, okay? C1 e raised to M1x plus D1 e raised to M2x. Now see, we cannot use letter x. Why? Because our equation is in terms of t. So take care here, students. You have to write the solution in terms of t, and here you have to use letter x because your equation is, original equation is in terms of x. Okay? And now where this will go? Where this will go? What will be the left hand side of this equation? That is also important. You are solving the equation in terms of x. So y will not come into the picture. So it will be x. Here your equation is in terms of t. So here t will come into the picture. So our first equation, if you see, we have taken y is equal to x into t, no students? This equation we are solving. So what will be y here? X is what? A1 e raised to lambda x plus B1 e raised to minus lambda x into what is t? C1 e raised to c lambda t plus D1 e raised to minus c lambda t. So this you can denote by some other number, or we'll use the Roman letters. Roman 1. So what is Roman 1 equation, students? when k is positive, we have taken k is equal to lambda square. We solved two equations separately and then we found y is equal to capital X into capital T. So this is one solution, right? So first case is done. Any students, if you have not followed some step, you can ask me. Yes, any doubt, students? Anything which you have not followed? You have to sit and write down these proofs again, twice or thrice. Then you can easily remember this. The steps are not difficult, students. Okay? Okay, now we'll go to second case. Now what will be case number 2, students? Take the another page. Case number 2 is when k is negative. Case number 2, let k be negative. Correct? Now let k be negative means what? What is the safer k you can take? Looking at that, you can say that k is negative. Can't I take it as minus lambda square? Because you are sure that lambda square is positive. You are sure that lambda square is positive. So if I give negative sign outside, then it will become negative. I'm not writing it as minus lambda the whole square. See the difference. I'm giving negative sign to lambda square. Understood? So even if lambda is negative, its square will become positive and then outer minus sign will indicate that it is a negative number. So now we are going to repeat the same steps which we have done in the previous case. Wherever there is k in equation number 3, we are putting minus lambda square. So what is equation 3? I'll write it again for your convenience as x double dash minus kx is equal to 0 and t double dash minus c square kt is equal to 0. This is our set in equations 3, right? So we are going to put k is equal to minus lambda square. So see how it looks. It will be x square minus of minus lambda square x is equal to 0, x double dash here, t double dash minus c square minus lambda square t is equal to 0. So nothing I am doing, students. Wherever there is k, I am replacing it by minus lambda square. So minus into minus will become plus, right? And here also minus into minus will become plus. Okay? Now as the right hand side is 0, you know that you need not find the particular integral part, you have to find only the complementary function part. Now what is the auxiliary equation here, students? Suppose I write d square plus d square x plus lambda square x is equal to 0. So d square plus lambda square x is equal to 0, right now? So what is the auxiliary equation? Coefficient of x you have to equate it to 0. So d square is equal to minus lambda square. So d is equal to, can anybody tell me what will be d here? What will be the roots? What will be roots of minus lambda square, students? What are the roots of negative number? Muskan? What is root of minus 100? What are roots of minus 100, Muskan? Can you hear me? You can put your answer in chat box, no problem. If you can hear me, put the answer in chat box. What are roots of minus 100? Preksha, what are roots of minus 100? Put in chat box.
Ma'am, it's 10i.
Plus or minus 10i, correct? So whenever you are finding root of any negative number, it is the imaginary, right? So it is plus or minus lambda I. Because, let me explain here. What are the roots of, when you find out root of minus 100, it will be square root of minus 1 into 100, no students? Plus or minus, right? So minus 1, root of minus 1 is I and root of 100 is 10. So it becomes 10i plus or minus. Okay. What will be root of minus 16? It will be plus or minus 4i. What will be root of minus 9? It will be plus or minus 3i. What will be root of just 9? It will be plus or minus 3. Because there is no negative sign under the root. Okay. Similarly, what will happen here? It will be d square t plus c square lambda square t is equal to 0. T is common. So d square plus c square lambda square t is equal to 0. So what is the auxiliary equation here? D square plus c square lambda square is equal to 0. So d square is equal to minus c square lambda square. So again the root of negative number will be plus or minus c lambda I. Okay, so these are the roots. So if you observe here, the roots are imaginary, right? The roots are imaginary. Imaginary in the form alpha plus or minus I beta, correct? What is alpha here? 0 because there is no real part. What is beta here? Coefficient of I. What is alpha here? 0. And what is beta here? It is c lambda. So what is the formula given for imaginary part, students? Formula is e raised to alpha x c1 cos of beta x plus c2 sin of beta x. Just now I have given you the table. If you refer the page, you will find out that in that table, see, in this table, I have said that the complex non-repeated roots alpha plus or minus I beta, the formula is y is equal to e raised to alpha x c1 cos beta x plus c2 sin beta x. So same formula I am using here, students. Okay. So let us substitute and see what we get. Now left hand side will be capital X here. E raised to alpha x means e raised to 0x. C1 in place of again C1, C2, you can use letter A2, A2, B2. So A2 cos of lambda x plus B2 sin of lambda x. Okay. And what will be capital T here? Capital T will be e raised to alpha x. A2, B2, now we'll use C2. C2 cos of beta is C lambda plus D2 sin of beta x, beta t. Now, as I told you, take this solution in terms of t because you are solving the equation in terms of t. And then as y is equal to x into t, let us substitute. Anything raised to 0 is 1, that you know. So A2 cos of lambda x plus B2 sin of lambda x into C2 cos of C lambda t plus D2 sin of C lambda t. Okay. And this you can give Roman 2 for this equation. So this case is when k is negative. Okay. And now last case we are going to do, that is case number 3, when k is equal to 0. Because we have done with positive and negative values of k. Now let us see what happens when k is equal to 0. So equation 3 becomes, what will be it? Wherever there is k, replace it by 0. So just you will get x double dash is equal to 0 and t double dash is equal to 0 because term in k will vanish. Okay. Now can you tell me what will be x and what will be t here? Anybody? What exactly happens? Suppose I want x dash. I have to integrate both sides, students. Correct or no? So when I integrate both sides, integrating both sides, what I will get? Integral of x double dash will be x dash. And there will be some constant on the right hand side. So let us take it as a3 because a1, a2 is used. Then again you have to integrate. Again integrate. And what you get? X dash will become x. Integral of a constant is that constant into x. And again the constant of integral will be p3 in this case. Okay. And t double dash is equal to 0. Again, if you integrate both sides, then t dash will be equal to a3, b3 is used. Then let us use c3 here. Again integrate. So it will be t is equal to c3 small t plus again one more constant of integral d3. Okay. And what will be y in this case? X into capital T will be a3x plus b3 multiplied by c3t plus d3, and this is your Roman 3, equation number 3. Any doubt? Okay. Now you got 3 sets of equations. Like we have given Roman equation 1, 2 and 3. So let me write it here, all the equations. So we got various solutions. So the possible solutions of wave equation are like this. What is first Roman equation? See, a1 e raised to lambda x, I am copy pasting this, a1 e raised to lambda x plus b1 e raised to minus lambda x into t is c1 e raised to lambda at plus d1 e raised to minus lambda at. A or your, what is the letter we are using here? C, no? C1 or C, any letter you can use, which you are referring. So this was our Roman 1. Then Roman 2 equation, I am writing y is equal to a2 cos of lambda x plus b2 sin of lambda x into c2 cos of lambda. What is our equation, students? Roman 2, just check. c2 cos of c lambda t, correct, plus d2 sin of c lambda t. This was our Roman equation number 2. And the third equation was a3x plus b3 and c3t plus d3. This was our Roman equation number 3. So in this way we got different solutions of wave equation 1, 2, 3. But out of these 3, we have to choose which is the correct solution. We have to select that particular solution which suits the physical nature of the problem, students. Physical nature of the problem, then boundary conditions and so on. Now in this case, what we are dealing with? We are dealing with vibration of string. Correct? So when we are dealing with vibration of string, what happens? Y must be periodic function of x and t, because you are writing y is equal to x into t. When the string is vibrating, we know that we are getting the vibration, we are getting the wave like this, right? So definitely it is the vibration of string. Means what? We have to select which, when the word periodic function comes, Can you guess, students? Can you guess out of these three set of equations, which set of equations will be the required or the possible solution for wave equation? I'll just change the. Just look at all three equations. Know which is the proper solution, because all three are not the solutions definitely. Can you tell me which will be the solution? Anybody, you can put in chat box. 1, 2, 3. Second one. Why? Can you reason? Why second one? Sine and cos. Very good. Very good. So here we select the solution 2. The solution 2 as the probable solution of wave equation. Because you know that when the function is periodic, we convert it in the form of sine and cosine waves, right? And therefore, in first one there are no terms in sine and cosine. In last one also we don't have any sine and cosine. Sine and cosine are the periodic functions, you know. So we choose the second as the solution. Okay. So when you are solving problems, students, you need not worry about first and third. Directly we are taking second one as the formula. So you can say that the solution of wave equation is, one-dimensional wave equation is y is equal to a2 cos lambda x plus b2 sin lambda x, where a2, b2 and all are some random constant, students. Any later you can take here cos of c lambda t plus d2 sin of c lambda t. And here completes the solution part of the wave equation. So these formulas we are going to take directly in solving the problems. Okay. So what you can do is again go through the whole solution part. If you have any doubt, if you're not understanding some step, you can ask me. Okay. But you have to sit with this and go through each and every step properly. Try to write down by yourself, because students, these are all sure shot questions come in exam directly for 10 marks. Okay. So don't ignore this. Next time we'll solve some examples based on this, and then I will do the heat equations. Okay. Now let me take the attendance, students. Now you are done very well in the IT. You can stop recording. All these things go